President Paul Biya of Cameroon says the country will hold presidential elections on October 7, ending speculation about whether polls will go ahead in the violence-stricken nation. This comes amid reports that lawmakers last week approved a bill postponing parliamentary elections until 2019. English-speaking areas of Western Cameroon have been gripped by an armed insurgency, and according to the United Nations, at least 160,000 people have fled their homes. President Biya is yet to say whether he will bid for another term in office. The 85-year-old is currently Africa's oldest president after taking power in 1982. So let's get more on this story from a professor of French and Francophone African Studies at the University of Lagos, Professor Victor Arili. Thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Now, President Paul Biya confirmed by decree that Cameroon will hold presidential elections on October 7. How feasible is this, considering the crisis involving the Anglophone region?
Well, I think it's going to be possible. Having known how people in Central Africa operate, a region where Cameroon is majority in terms of population. We have seen that happen in Central African Republic. We have seen that happen in Gabon. We have seen that happen in Congo, not Congo Democratic, but Congo Republic. So it's not, there is no doubt that the election is going to hold. It's going to hold, and I'm very sure he's going to stand for the election.
But will it be free and fair?
Well, free and fair is what in Africa is very difficult to really contemplate. We have never seen any free and fair election in Africa as it's supposed to be, if you call it standard measurement of free and fair. And so someone will win and he will claim it's free and fair. So that's exactly what's going to happen in Cameroon. They will win, especially with a Wondo coalition. That's people who are really supportive of him. They will win and they will claim it's free and fair. So what do we do?
Now, let's keep in mind that President Biya hasn't declared whether he's going to run for another term in office. What should we expect from him? Could he possibly take a cue from Robert Mugabe?
No, I don't think so. You see, Robert Mugabe's case is different because that's South Africa. But what we know that goes on in Central Africa as a region or sub-region is that, you see, the president could possibly resign after winning the election, like Ahidjo did. Ahidjo is a Fulani and there's a Cameroonian who was their first president. You see, it took him time to understand that he has to relinquish power. But at the worst situation, he voluntarily, and the Biya took over. So I feel that sort of precedent will continue in their own case. Biya will definitely come in. At worst, he will resign and allow his vice president to take in. But the vice president will definitely be somebody who is supportive of his own doings also.
Now, let's look at the other candidates contending for the presidency. We have Joshua Ossie of the Social Democratic Front. We have Transparency International lawyer and former Vice President Akere Muna, and Maurice Kamto of the MRC party. Which one of these candidates do you think can successfully challenge President Biya if he does contest the election again?
The point is really not successfully challenging him. The issue is that they will never be cohesive, those opposition members, because they don't belong to the same camp or the same coalition, if you like. Like in his own case, he is supported by the Wondo people and the other people that are close to Equatorial Guinea and whatever. So these ones are like fans and or the Bamendas. These are people who have been fighting even Ahidjo, and they have never been successful at it. So I don't see them. It's just going to be a distraction in effect because they don't have a solid point to go against Biya. Mind you, the case of Boko Haram area is not even, nobody talks about that. It's like Cameroon has tactically withdrawn from being disturbed by Boko Haram issues. And Fulanis are basically those who are manning those areas. They call them the Fufu days. So you see, it's not going to really they are not going to really be successful in getting Biya out of power in that way.
Professor Tarili, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's main opposition party has once again marched to the Independent Election Agency to demand reforms which it says are vital for a credible vote this month. Zimbabwe will choose a new president and members of parliament on July 30 in the first election since Robert Mugabe was forced to resign from office late last year. The election will pit Mr. Mugabe's successor, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and his ZANU-PF party against challengers led by Nelson Chamisa of the Movement for Democratic Change. The MDC says it is wary of any attempt to put it at a disadvantage to Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, insisting there must be an agreement on how to design, print, and store ballot papers. In South Africa, hundreds of men and women have taken to the streets of Pretoria to call on the menfolk to be more responsible towards the safety of women and children. The Police Minister, Bekisele, was joined by other ministers and 1,227 student police to march with various civil society organizations with the hashtag 100-man march. South Africa has a high record of femicide and cases of violence against women and children. Many missing children end up murdered. The march was initiated by a group of men who say no to violence against women and children.
This woman who will die today or who will be raped today could be your child. That could be your mother, that could be your sister, your cousin. So just take it that you have a responsibility as a man to protect every woman that is around you.
Men have to take a stand against violence. The perpetrators need to be arrested, they need to be charged, they need to be convicted, they need to be punished. Enough is enough. Far too many of our women and our children are being abused, they are being murdered. And if I look at the statistics, we are in a very serious situation. And we have to take a stand, and now is the time that we all stood united, we raised our voices, we became active citizens, and we tell the world that we are going to make South Africa a safer place.
That 100-man march is important. And it can stop violence with women and children.
The message is a clarion call to the men that if we do things right, the world will be right.
Still to come on the program, 48 Burundian refugees return home following a tripartite deal between Burundi, Kenya, and the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR. Please stay with us.